Hello, my name is John Doucette. I'm out in the field again today at Room White. I'm going to have the privilege to speak with Elias, who is the owner of this salon, who's heavily involved with a product called 11 out of Australia, and he's an educator for this company. And in addition to that, we're going to be discussing some of the other strategies that Elias has developed that has translated into continued success for Room White. Today I'm at Room White and I have had the opportunity to sit down and speak with Elias. Elias is the owner of Room White. He has an incredible background and I'm going to let him speak of that. So Elias, if you please share with us a little bit about your background. And I know that you've just shared with me, you've recently came on board with a product called 11 out of Australia. Right. So maybe you can speak of that a bit.
So I've been in the industry for about 20 years now. We're leading in the industry with trying to target the millennial crowd, and just because they're a future in the fashion industry as well. And I've recently come on board a product line called 11 out of Australia, which we're really excited about because the co-founders of this product line are responsible for imagery that you see in H&M, and we're very proud to be a part of that company. I'm also an educator for them, and I feel like here at Room White, that's the kind of brand that we portray here when it comes to hair, is very trendy and very fashionable. And we recently just went on board with main reviews as well, and feel really excited about that.
So I came and I met with Elias a few weeks back, and I shared with him what we at Main Reviews can do to help him to further grow his business and create more brand exposure. And one of the things that Elias and I spoke about was in-salon promotions that could further grow his business. And one of the recommendations I made to Elias was how he can use his existing client base to grow his business that will create significant retail and service revenue over the next quarter. So, and when I had that conversation with Elias, that was something that resonated with you. You thought,
that's right, yeah.
Because I think we both know, I know myself as a stylist, colorist, previous salon owner, multiple salon owner, that advertising by using flyers in magazines just doesn't work.
That's right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I know when I came into Room White, one of the first things that I identified was the ambiance, the environment that Elias has created. It's very comfortable, it's extremely professional, and it has great visibility from the street.
Yeah.
And all those things are key, I think, for ongoing success for a salon.
That's right.
Talk to me a little bit about your staff and how you motivate them, or the challenges you may have.
Our staff, look, we try to always educate our staff. The fact that I'm an educator as well, I always try to impart that on my staff, so that like whatever's leading in fashion and in trend, I impart that in my staff, and then in return it goes to our guests and our clients. Challenges I have, I guess, are nowadays the younger millennials, they want to always be stimulated, and they always want to be educated, and I think that's a challenge. But at the same time, I think we're on top of that as well, with the fact that I am an educator and I can impart that on them. But other than that, it's always about trying, like you said, trying to grow the business. How do I build my staff up? That's a challenge, right? And try to get them into kind of creating a good clientele base. And I'm always looking at new ways of doing that, aside from providing really good service and having them on top of their game when it comes to hairstyling. But what we talked about, I thought was an excellent idea, and it's always nice to kind of give your staff different opportunities to grow their business, and which is why I was attracted to Maine as well after our conversation, right?
When I have an opportunity to speak to stylists, one of the things I like to put an emphasis on is growing your book of business. So the reality of it is, as you and I both know, our ability to do things in life, be it travel, own a home, whatever that is dictated by our book of business. And to just expand on that is, how frequently are you filled? Are your columns filled every day? Out of a 5-day work week, that is so critical.
It is, yeah.
The importance of retaining that client, having them rebook, and I think that oftentimes stylists don't really understand that because they're so in the moment, as you and I know. And one of the things that we offer at Main Reviews is, as well, there's a lot of educational content on the site. So for example, I'm sure you'll agree with me, having staff execute a consultation that's effective is challenging.
It is challenging, yeah.
Because I think, from my own personal experience, when I get that client in the chair, I need to be able to identify what that client wants, what their needs are, and it's my responsibility to formulate and present to them whatever that formulation is going to be, and then to educate them along the journey about the products that they're going to need to either maintain or replicate that service.
Which is very important, yeah.
It's so important.
Very important.
And Elias, I think that for the most part, stylists don't do that.
No, you're right, and that's where the problems begin. Is right when your client sits in your chair, it all starts from the consultation. If the consultation wasn't done properly, if the products that were referred were not the right ones, then that's when you have these issues afterwards, where your client is like, well, I didn't get what I wanted, and meanwhile you can rewind and go back to the consultation. Well, how was your consultation? Like, were you thorough in your questioning? Did you analyze the hair properly? Did you do whatever the steps were required of you to get a proper consultation and to recommend a proper product? And that's really hard, and I think it comes with experience as well, but also with education as well, right?
So an example I often use is, as a colorist, if I do a fashion color. So say, for example, I pre-lighten the hair and I do a fashion color and it's an intense red. And I don't explain to that client the importance of maintenance, and I'm going to expand on that. If that client leaves the salon and she says to me, Jonathan, I love my hair, I love the red, it's vibrant, it's exactly what I was looking for. And she leaves and she goes to a drugstore and she buys a shampoo that's high in alkalinity and go home and wash that hair. We know that the tonal value resides in the cuticle layer of the hair for the first 48 to 72 hours. The color fades. What happens? She's unhappy. Who looks bad?
Yeah, we do.
We do, the colorist.
Yeah.
So if we don't explain to the client the importance of all those steps and using the appropriate product, then it directly reflects on us.
Yeah.
If we explain to the client, you know what, I appreciate that budget is a concern, but I need you to understand that if you can't and you won't use the appropriate product to maintain this, I can't guarantee the service.
You're
Please
right.
understand that.
Yeah, and it's true, and it comes down to, again, back to your initial question about the challenges, right? These are the challenges I find with staff, is that sometimes they feel like maybe they're pushing the product on them, or and it's not that. It's about educating. And you're right. If you're not going to use the right product, I'm not pushing this product on you. I'm just telling you that you need this if you're going to maintain this color. It's not. It's just a necessity. It comes with the whole package. You want to color your hair. You want to have a bright red color. You need to maintain it, and that way I can guarantee my work, right? And it's about that, right? And that's another challenge I find, that stylists feel like maybe I'm pushy if I'm talking about a product, and you're not. You're just educating your client on what they need to do to maintain the work that you're going to give them, right?
And you hit the nail right on the head. Education. Because when I go into a salon, one of my greatest challenges is that I have stylists and colorists say to me, I'm not a salesperson. I don't do sales. I appreciate that, but you are a professional, right?
Exactly, you are in sales, actually.
If you consider yourself to be professional, it's your responsibility to recommend whatever product necessary to maintain that service or to replicate it. And it comes from the top. I've seen it many, many times. If the owner of the salon, like yourself, if you're leading by example and you're creating that culture, it becomes a habit.
It does, yeah.
And I think a lot of salon owners struggle with that.
Yeah.
And anything we can do to support that, I think it's just a win-win.
That's great. Yeah.
It's a win-win. So let me ask you, because in the salons that I've also spoken to, they've said that one of the challenges they have is finding staff.
That's a challenge, I think, for us as well. Yeah.
I think it's a challenge for everybody in the industry, and I think there's numerous reasons for that. I think when a stylist or colorist gets to a salon and they feel comfortable and they feel they're validated and they're being financially compensated, they're probably not going to go anywhere. But that's not always the case. So one of the things that we've decided, or we've developed at mainreviews.com, is a job board. So in the next probably 3 weeks, there'll be a job board up on the site that is going
That's
to,
right.
yeah, so you as a salon owner
Yeah.
are going to be able to post a job opening, and then you're going to be able to review all these resumes that are
That's great,
on site.
yeah.
So I think that has incredible value to a salon owner.
Yes, of course it does. Yeah, because I mean, it's a good way to get our name out there so that we can attract the right type of people, right? So that's a great idea. Yeah.
I want to ask you something else too, Elias. One of the things we're looking at doing is having a webinar. It might be weekly, it might be bi-weekly, but the whole idea behind the webinar would be for salons that are a part of our system, like yourself, to be able to submit submit an email to me identifying what the challenge is. So whether it's retail, whether it's staff retention, whether it's business development, or whether it's marketing, whatever those things are, then I'm going to take those emails and identify the top 2 subjects, the top 2 topics, and we're going to have a conference call specifically on that. And I'm going to provide ways in which you can address that and find resolution to those problems. In addition to that, it's going to encourage conversation among other salon owners in the GTA within our system. So it's going to be the sharing of best practices, and I think it's also going to foster new relationships, because as you and I know, salon owners for the most part, they're like an island. They don't really, for whatever reason, I'm not sure, they don't really communicate very well amongst each other, but I see this as an opportunity for us to bridge that gap, and so that there's more of a community among the salon owners, and again, sharing of best
I
practices.
think it's a great idea.
Do you think do you see that working?
Yeah, because I mean, if you're open to growth, and I mean, you can't close your doors, and it's nice. I would love to know what, other salons are doing, because maybe I can learn from that, right? It's just, it's one of those things where I think if you feel like maybe you know everything, you can't grow. I mean, goes with everything, all the aspects of any career.
I will share with you, I won't get into the details. I just interviewed a salon owner last week who has a business model that is unique to the industry. I've never seen anything like it, and I would never have imagined that it would work in our industry, but it does. And it translates into incredible financial success for her. So over the next week or so, I'm going to have that up on the site, so you're going to get to see that interview, and you'll hear firsthand from her a testimonial as to what she's done to help grow her business. So I think just that in and of itself, if we continue to do that and to foster those relationships with other salon owners, everybody's going to benefit from it, I think.
Yes, you're right, and it is, and you're better off being united than divided, right? I mean, it's like I think we're afraid of, I don't want the other person to know what I'm doing, but I think in the end it just helps everybody, right? It helps us, right? It's very important to do that. Yeah.
It's interesting you should say that, because when we launched Main Reviews, actually we did a pre-launch, and we invited 8 salon owners that were well established and had been in the industry for quite some time. And we asked for feedback, and that was one of the comments that they made, was that there's not a lot of communication among salon owners, and this is a way that we can bridge that gap, and they were very open to that.
Yeah.
So again, I think that's something else that Main Reviews can bring to the table that will help salon owners grow and become more successful.
Yeah, you're right. And then the other thing is too, and then I mean, if you are, as a salon owner, if you are doing something right, then you can kind of confirm, say, you know what, it's working for this person, it's working, I'm doing the right thing, kind of. And if you're not, you kind of learn something, and you can, establish that in your own salon and kind of benefit as well, right?
So let me ask you, we're going to move forward in the not too distant future with the in-house promotion as it relates to using your existing clientele to build new clients, and I'm going to do everything I can to support you and help you with that. And then again, when it comes to having meetings with your staff as it relates to retail, staff retention, client retention and referral, I'll be more than happy to help you with that as well. Is there anything else that you can think of that's on the site that you see? So the other thing, I almost forgot, the Mindshare bulletin board, because we posted the services that you have discounted and the offering that you have. I believe it was a flat iron?
Yes, we had that going on. Yeah.
So that's something else that you can leverage on a daily or weekly basis that's getting that message out to your audience, and it's going to bring new people through the door.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think we've covered a lot of it.
I think we have as well.
Yeah, and I do like the fact that You can put those little promotions that you're doing, just to kind of help build up staff that might not be as busy at certain days or certain times of the year, right? And I think it's a great way to kind of let people know that, hey, you're offering something that will.
So what I've seen other salon owners do, they're using the Mindshare bulletin board on their quieter days to do some type of offering to get those folks through the door that might not otherwise come in. So another way you can utilize it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm really happy with everything that's been going on so far. So good. Yeah.
Well, in saying that, it's been an absolute privilege to be able to sit here today with Elias at Room White, and I'm confident that we're going to have another conversation. And I'm also confident that there are things that you will take away from this conversation today that will help you to continue to grow your salon and help with customer retention and referral. So again, signing off from mainreviews.com out in the field. Thank you so much, Elias. It's been a pleasure today.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.